Welcome to Inland Empire Alive, bringing you issues, events, and perspectives from throughout San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I'm David Brady, and on today's show, Frank Becerra and Stephanie Castro discuss San Bernardino's Love Your Block initiative, a program that funds citywide beautification efforts. That's today on Inland Empire Alive. Well, here to talk about a wonderful beautification effort here in the city of San Bernardino are Stephanie Castro with the Economic Development Department and Frank Becerra, a recipient of the Love Your Block grant program. So welcome to the program. Stephanie, start us off by telling about how the Love Your Block program got started.
Sure, thank you. So Love Your Block is a mayor's initiative that was brought to the city, and we were fortunate enough to partner with the Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation and Johns Hopkins University. And we were awarded a $100,000 grant to be able to help our communities and encourage resident-led projects.
Well, now that's key, resident-led projects. This wasn't just a pot of money and they said, go out and spend it. They said, let residents come up with ideas. Talk to me about that idea and the innovative, ideas that came out of a project like that.
So Bloomberg Philanthropies has been active in the community for years, and they have always encouraged community-led projects to engage the residents, engage the communities. So in receiving this grant, the goal was to go out into our community and engage the residents, the neighborhood associations, the communities within our city to really lead these projects and beautify their city and beautify their neighborhoods.
And decide what they wanted to do, whether
Exactly.
it was, and can you give an idea of what are some of the projects that people were proposing?
So we had an array of projects, from murals to artwork installations to cleanups to landscaping efforts in neighborhoods. So it was really a wide array of projects, but they all focused on beautifying those areas of their neighborhood.
Frank, I want to bring you in. You were one of those grant recipients. Your project was the Bond Street Cleanup. Talk to me about how you first became aware of this program and what attracted you to it.
So my wife and I are members of the Blair Park Neighborhood Association, and San Bernardino has a great group of neighborhood associations kind of led by the Neighborhood Association Council. So we're fairly involved in the city. And when the Love Your Block program came up, everybody shared the message, including the Neighborhood Association.
What did you hope to accomplish specifically with your project? I mean, yours was specifically a landscaping project. What was your vision?
We live at the end of Bond Street, where it ends into the golf course, and it's a cul-de-sac that has had some deferred maintenance for quite a while, so there's a lot of overgrowth. There are a lot of walkers, especially dog walkers, come through there, so it had gotten so bad that you couldn't pass on the sidewalk because of the overgrowth. And there's extra debris, extra fire hazards, so we just wanted to clean that up.
So not only a beautification thing, but it's a safety issue too.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so we got a little bit of everything out of that.
What was your proposal to do specifically? I know it involved some planting, again, kind of beautifying this kind of strip of land. What were you looking to accomplish, in terms of the beautification specifically?
So number one is that access, so people could move around, and number two is clear up that debris and make it look beautiful. So we got all that debris out. We laid down some weed tarp. We put some decomposed granite and some succulent plants in there, and we were very purposeful about how we designed it because we wanted it to be easy to maintain and never revert back to the condition that it was in. And one of the side benefits we've had is not only more people using it, but we see less trash and less debris, fewer people hanging out.
Let's talk a little bit about the program itself. I understand there were 16 cities that were chosen across the U.S., so it's kind of a rare opportunity to be, selected to participate in this.
It is, and we were honored to be chosen for the program.
And there were many grants from, I understand, 1,000 to 5,000, and your project received 1,500. Talk to me about kind of the total pot that you awarded, and what were some of the more expensive projects?
Sure. So initially we had about $18,000 to put towards this round of applications and grants. We were lucky enough to be allocated additional funding through the city manager's office. So overall, we had just over $40,000 to put into these projects. And some of the larger ones include a a mural that is 200 feet long
Wow.
at Campo Santo Cemetery. And the community absolutely loves it, and it brings people together. A lot of people participated. And then we have some smaller projects. We have a free little library at Blair Park. We've got landscaping projects, and we've got some in between. There was a project in North Park that installed a metal cutout of a coyote, very representative of the neighborhood, but they also added some landscaping, some rock. There's a rock path, cleared the overgrowth. So a lot of different types of projects that have different levels of commitment to it with the amount of work.
Well, I understand you had 43 applicants total that were whittled down to 20 finalists that had to pitch their ideas to a judges panel. What was that like? I heard it was a little bit like Shark Tank.
It was indeed. But
Were they critical? I mean, were they poking holes in it, or?
No, not too bad. Everyone, the judges, the city, Music Changing Lives, everyone was very supportive. But they did their due diligence in asking appropriate questions and making sure that this money was going to go to good efforts, and we had a solid plan.
When we come back, we'll have much more about the Love Your Block program right here in San Bernardino after these messages.
Got cats? Cats are free-roaming pets in our communities. Some cats are owned by someone and may be friendly or shy, while others may not be owned and are what we call feral, meaning they don't want any contact with humans and could be considered wild. Unlike dogs, there is no leash law requiring cats to stay inside or on their owner's property. Animal control agencies across the nation used to pick up stray healthy cats in neighborhoods and bring them to shelters in the hopes that their owners would come to look for them. Unfortunately, because many owners allow their cats to roam, they do not go to shelters looking for their pets, and only about 2% of the cats that end up in the shelter are returned to their home. Studies show that when healthy cats are left in their communities, over 65% return to their owner, while others find a new home with someone in the neighborhood. Studies also show that when a cat is removed from their community, the remaining cats have larger litters and other cats move in, leading to an increased population over time. The most effective method to reduce the number of cats in a community is to spay or neuter them and return them back to their environment. This practice is known as TNR, or Trap, Neuter, Return. In addition to reducing the population of cats over time, TNR also results in reduced attacks on native wildlife, marking spraying by cats on property, fights between cats, and other negative or unwanted behaviors. Animal Services is working to identify areas of the community where TNR is needed. We are hoping to start offering more TNR services to our community as our access to vet care expands. Please visit our website at www.sbcitypets.org to see what you can do to help with community cats and find tips and resources to keep unwanted cats and wildlife out of your yard.
Well, I'm talking with Stephanie Castro of Economic Development for the City of San Bernardino, as well as Frank Becerra, a resident of Bond Street, who participated in a grant program to clean up the end of his street. What do you anticipate the future of this program? I understand you've got funding for a second round. Tell me a little bit about what people who might be hearing about this for the first time who want to get in on it, and maybe folks who didn't make the cut, this time want to try again.
Sure. So we do have a round two. It's year 2 of the Love Your Block program. We're really excited to bring that to the community in January. We're going to start some community outreach, and then the program goes on from there. This will wrap up the end of August. So between January and August.
Start thinking of your idea.
Right, start thinking of some ideas, but our focus area is going to be on the west side for Route 66.
Oh, wonderful.
So along Mount Vernon and along 5th Street. So we encourage the residents to start thinking of those ideas now and what they'd like to see, knowing that it's a Route 66 theme.
Now that you've been through one full cycle of this, is there advice you would give to potential applicants of this is what we're looking for and this might give you an edge?
Well, we really loved the creativity of all of the applications that came through. We really want to encourage the residents to think big, think about what they really want to see and the change they want to invoke in their neighborhoods. And this is the opportunity to do that. So we encourage all kinds of different ideas. We have seen so many different things, but we really want to encourage the residents to cater to their neighborhoods, bring those neighborhoods to life through these different projects.
And as you say, through the eyes of the residents, through the needs and the goals of the residents. Now, I understand Mayor Tran was at a lot of these events. Frank, tell me a little bit about that. Was there any?
Mayor Chan can work.
I noticed that she had
Yeah.
a shovel. She was out there.
Yeah, and she even brings her family. She brought her father out that day, and they stayed 2 or 3 hours. And
What does that mean to you as a resident to have the mayor not just showing up, waving, taking a
She's
picture?
invested. They're invested very much. So we've had a great experience with the city, with city council and the mayor's office, and we're very fortunate. And it means that it's important to them too.
As someone who lives here, what does it mean to you that the city is investing in making these partnerships that provide these opportunities? That, again, there's only 16 cities that were chosen to do this.
It's crucial. And while the city may not have a lot of resources, one of the resources that we've just yet to tap into is our residents here. And by giving us say and ownership of local projects, it makes them that much better. And if I can add, we accomplished what we were set out to do. We cleared it out and it looks better. But I didn't expect all the other benefits of it. Got to know our neighbors, got to know some people came out.
I was going to ask, what was the feedback from the other residents? Were they, like, oh, I didn't know this was happening, and how can I get involved?
On our block, people that I've never talked to came out. They brought out their own tools and green waste recyclers. And I had conversations with folks that I've lived next to for years, but never really had a deep conversation with. And it made us stronger. And I think that's really the best benefit of this project.
Now, certainly economic development is focused on, economic development, but what does it mean for you personally to see the human benefit that these projects mean? Again, they're beautification. They are lovely to look at. They make people feel good. How does that feel to know that you played a part in bringing that to life?
I think all of those things, right? For me, it's a little bit more personal because I not only work in the city, but I live here as well. So to see these projects happening in my city, in my neighborhood, it is so amazing to see those residents come together in those neighborhoods and be so passionate about their projects and wanting to instill change in their areas and commit to these projects so hard the way that they did, especially on Bond Street, to see all those neighbors come together for that. It's just been amazing and it's heartwarming, and it makes me look forward to year 2 even more.
Well, talking about year 2, how can people find out more and how can people learn the criteria to apply?
Absolutely. So we have a website, sbcity.org/loveyourblock.
And what are some things people should be thinking of when they're thinking of an idea, they're preparing a proposal? What are some of those key details that you're going to be looking for?
Sure. So think
Budget.
Budget, absolutely. What are you going to need? What are the supplies? Start thinking about that now. How
Maintenance,
large?
because these projects are meant to last. They're not meant to be
They
just,
are.
they fade with time and, like you said, it just turns back into the way it was.
Yes. So maintenance on a project like Bond Street, they've got neighbors that constantly check on it. Other projects like that as well from year 1. Going into year 2, if it's a mural, how do we maintain that? How do we keep it clean? If it's an installation, who watches over it, who goes checks on it. So the maintenance of it is important so that it continues to last in our neighborhoods.
And we got a couple seconds left. I'll give you a little opportunity for a shout out. What are some other projects that economic development is currently working on? What are, for folks watching, living in the city, what are some other things kind of going on under the hood?
Absolutely. So economic development is also focused on our small businesses. We also have a facade improvement program where small businesses in major commercial corridors can apply for funding to improve the facades of their buildings. Windows, awnings, paint, fencing, anything that is street facing. So we try to provide as many programs as possible to our small businesses. That's one of our biggest ones right now.
And I would imagine that's really key in people deciding whether I want to go into that business. What does it look like on the outside? So it may not seem like much, but it probably makes a huge difference.
And we're hoping that the more businesses lean into this program and be able to make those improvements on the outside, it invites more people to come in and it will help generate business for those. Yeah.
Well, Stephanie, Frank, thank you for being on the program. The Love Your Block program is going strong. You can apply for year 2. You can go to sbcity.org/loveyourblock. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you.
visit iealive.com.